Dear brothers and sisters, on February 1, 2026, we celebrate the fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time, and it is also Pro-Life Sunday. The readings invite us to reflect on life, dignity, and true happiness, not as the world measures them, but as God sees them. Jesus calls us to follow the Beatitudes, a radical blueprint for life that lifts up mercy, humility, and justice. Today, we'll see how this ancient wisdom from Scripture connects to our lives, and even in a fun way, to heroes like He-Man in the new Masters of the Universe movie. In our first reading, the prophet Zephaniah speaks of God's faithful remnant, the humble, the lowly, and obedient people who follow His commands, even when the world is corrupt or unjust. He tells us, "They shall do no wrong, speak no lies, and pasture their flocks with none to disturb them." These words remind us that God protects those who walk in humility and justice, even in times of difficulty. Think of it like this. In Masters of the Universe, He-Man and the heroes fight to protect Eternia, their world, not because they are the strongest by worldly standards, but because they are faithful, brave, and willing to live for the good of others. Likewise, God's faithful remnant may not be the most powerful or noble, but they are chosen to witness His kingdom on earth. The responsorial psalm sings, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs." So God protects the oppressed, feeds the hungry, and lifts up those who are bowed down. Notice how it emphasizes action: justice for the oppressed, care for the widow, sustenance for the fatherless. These are not abstract blessings. They are lived. They are practical. And just like our heroes in Eternia, standing for justice often means acting courageously for those who cannot defend themselves, including the weakest of the weak, specifically the unborn babies who have no voice. Protecting life from the most vulnerable in the womb to the marginalized around us is a direct expression of God's mercy and justice in the world today. So friends, to be poor in spirit isn't weakness. It's recognizing that we depend on God, not on our might or status. That's the first step in the journey toward holiness. And the next step is to follow His example. We should protect and take care of the weak the way He protects and takes care of us. Now, St. Paul reminds us in Corinthians, God chooses the weak to shame the strong, the lowly to shame the mighty. Our value doesn't come from wealth, power, or fame. It comes from God's grace working through us. Just as He-Man's strength is a gift he uses for justice, we are called to wield the gifts of God that He gave us, not for selfish gain, but for building His kingdom. And just like in Eternia, the most unexpected heroes often save the day. Paul encourages us, whoever boasts should boast in the Lord. It's a reminder that our victories, spiritual or practical, are God's, not ours. We are part of a divine story that's bigger than ourselves. Finally, in today's Gospel, Jesus gives us the Beatitudes, 8 blessings, 8 spiritual states, each a step on the road to salvation. Blessed are the poor in spirit, God's kingdom is theirs. Blessed are those who mourn, they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, they inherit the land. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure of heart, they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, they shall be called children of God. And blessed are those persecuted for righteousness, they inherit the kingdom of heaven. These Beatitudes are like the training of a hero. Imagine He-Man at the start of his journey, humble, unsure, dependent on his mentors. As he learns courage, justice, and mercy, he transforms into the protector of Eternia. That's exactly what the Beatitudes do for us. They shape us into Christ-like heroes, living out God's love in a world that can sometimes be dark and unjust. And like the faithful remnant of Zephaniah, we are called to persevere, remain humble, and trust God's plan, even when it seems hard or when we face persecution. On Pro-Life Sunday, the Beatitudes call us to protect every life, especially those who cannot speak for themselves, the unborn, the most vulnerable, the defenseless. God invites us to be their voice, to stand for them with courage and love. Our discipleship is action, like He-Man defending Eternia. It is not easy, but justice, mercy, and the defense of the innocent one are what it truly means to follow Christ, who, if we really think about it, is the true He-Man, because he's the man and he's the God, our God. So friends, as we go forth this week, let us ask, how can I live the Beatitudes today? How can I be part of God's faithful remnant, humble, meek, and merciful? And how can I protect and cherish life in all its forms? Like He-Man rising to defend Eternia, we too are called to stand for what is good and true, guided not by worldly strength, but by God's grace. Rejoice and be glad, for our reward is great in heaven. Amen.